It will be very interesting if we can decide if we have a plug flow regime or a complete mixed regime. So such works are always interesting. We can proceed with the next presentation. I'm not sure if anyone is from the selection of poplars and willows for water and sediment phytoremediation. So we proceed with efficiency of 2 pilot scale horizontal subsurface flow constructed wetlands in removing BOSCALID from agricultural wastewater, presented by Ms. PAPAEVANGELOU.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Vasiliki PAPAEVANGELOU. I am a PhD candidate at DUTH University, and the subject of my presentation today will be the efficiency of 2 pilot scale horizontal subsurface flow constructed wetlands in the removal of BOSCALID from agricultural wastewater. This is the outline of the presentation. Briefly, I will talk about pesticide application and adverse effects. I will move on to the constructed wetlands pesticide and pesticide treatment. I will refer to the objectives of our study, talk about the materials and the methods, and finally I will come to the conclusions and the results. Pesticides are mainly used in agriculture as weed, insects, and fungi control agents. They are essential tools in pest management. However, they are inconsiderate and improper use and application may lead to adverse environmental impacts and eventually the deterioration of the quality of water resources. Water resources, both surface water and groundwater, can be severely affected by pesticides that can originate either from diffuse points or non-point sources. Point source pollution includes several activities such as mixing and loading of pesticides, the filling and washing of the spray equipment, the improper handling of tank mix leftovers, the incorrect storage of boxes and some accidents, and the improper waste disposal of pesticides. Non-point source includes agricultural runoff, soil erosion, leaching, subsurface drainage, and spade drift. These are the limits that are permissible for raw water and drinking water, which are 2 micrograms per liter for each pesticide, while for all pesticides the limit is 5. For drinking water, the limits are lower, 0.1 for each pesticide, while 0.5 for all pesticides. Constructed wetlands are an effective, practical, and low-cost and low-maintenance technology for the treatment of wastewater and polluted runoff. They are generally used for the removal of several pollutants, including pollutants that generate from non-point and point source pollution. They are gaining recognition as potential best management practices for the reduction of pesticide concentrations in agricultural runoff, and can act as buffers between the agricultural fields and the receiving water bodies. Here are some removal mechanisms in the wetland environment, which include plant uptake, phytoaccumulation, adsorption, desorption, sedimentation of particle-bound molecules, and biological degradation. And on the right side of the slide, there are some factors that affect the overall treatment performance of these systems, which include inlet concentration, hydraulic resistance time, size of the wetland, type of the vegetation, and some climatic conditions. Generally, in the literature, there's a lack of research regarding the treatment of water that is contaminated by BOSCALID with the use of natural systems and especially constructed wetlands. Our objective, therefore, is to suggest ways to control and reduce the pesticide concentration, both in surface and groundwater, using this technology. Another objective was also to investigate the efficiency of pilot-scale horizontal subsurface flow constructed wetlands in the removal of BOSCALID that originates from either from point or non-point sources. Here is our target pesticide, BOSCALID, which is a fungicide that acts against a broad range of fungal species for several crops, including fruit, vegetables, and ornamentals. The table summarizes its physicochemical properties. This is our system configuration. For the conduction of the experiment, 2 pilot scales were used. Both contained porous media different. One contained fine gravel and the other cobbles, while the plant species was the same, the common reed. Water was enriched daily with BOSCALID and introduced to the units, approximately for 1 whole year. The hydraulic residence times that we applied were 6 and 8 days, and we mainly choose 6 days for warmer months, since the requirements of the water in the system are higher, while 8 days remained mainly in colder months. The sampling took place every 10 days. Here is the flow diagram of the analytical procedure for the determination of BOSCALID. Briefly, the sample was filtered. SPE procedure, solid phase extraction, was applied, and eventually we analyzed the compounds with HPLC PDA analysis. Some results. As you can see in the figure, the higher initial efficiency of both systems could be attributed to the adsorption or distribution within the porous media, along with the high temperature that occurred during summer and spring. The nominal effluent values was was 2 milligrams per liter, while the effluent values were 461 and 531 for FGR and COR units respectively, while the removal efficiencies were 56.3 and 52.4. Now, regarding the HRTs that were applied, FGR unit demonstrated better performance at 8 days, while COR at 6 days. Both pilot scale units indicated similar behavior, demonstrating satisfying treatment performance and the removal of BOSCALID, with the unit FGR being slightly better than COR. Both substrate materials contribute to the reduction of BOSCALID, and another observation was that with the decrease in temperature, lower removal efficiencies were also observed. To conclude, we can say that constructed wetlands are able to treat pesticide pollutants and protect the water quality. Increased HRT contributes also to increased herbicide and pesticide removal. Vegetation contributes to pesticide absorption and immobilization, breakdown, or uptake. And there were no visual symptoms of injury noted to the wetland plants, proving that plants are resistant. Generally, it is obvious that constructed wetlands are gaining recognition for the practical management of pesticide removal, and therefore their construction, not only near the sites where pesticide mixing and loading and washing takes place, but also as buffer zones, is highly recommended. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have 5 minutes time for any possible questions. Okay.
Can I ask a question? Okay.
Yes.
When you consider BOSCALID characterization, such as water solubility, vapor pressure, and volatility, so can you say something about the which mechanism, which process is take place in the environment in bioaccumulation, biodegradability, or absorbability, which one is dominant? Because of removal rate is 75% is okay, good, but which part of the percent take place in by adsorbability, biodegradability, or bioaccumulation in the plant? Okay? Thank you.
As you can see, BOSCALID is not very soluble in water, and the sorption coefficient is very high, which means that it mainly absorbs in soil and in the substrate. We can say that one of the main removal mechanisms is adsorption and desorption to the substrate material and to the plants. As reported from other studies, I didn't note it here, but it's in my article. What the soil?
The structure of the
it's not
porous media. First,
the porous media of the wetland.
Thick.
Yes.
Porous media. Plastic, gravel.
Gravel, fine gravel and cobbles.
Okay. I
Yes.
think adsorption is dominant.
Yes, I think so. Because of the physical, I didn't mention them because it would be tiring. Water solubility is very low. The sorption coefficient is very high, which means, and the half time, which means that the degradation of the compound is low, meaning that above 21 days it's a high number. And this is 246, which means that it doesn't dissolve.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
Everything is clear.
Okay, thank you. If there is no other questions,